Right, we are solving basic inequalities. I've posted some YouTube videos that will hopefully help you, and also a link that's a guided PowerPoint to explain some of these things if you're confused. So let's take a look at that first one. It says solve for x, then choose the correct graph. So we're going to solve this the way that we would kind of solve an equation. So let's just start there. Negative 3x is greater than 12. Wrote that down right? Yep. So to undo, we're going to try to get x by itself. To undo this multiplication, we're going to divide. Multiplication and division are opposites. What I do to one side, I'm going to do to the other side of this inequality, or this less than or greater than sign or equal to. When I do the negative 3 divided by negative 3, I'm left with x is greater than 12 divided by negative 3. A positive divided by a negative is a negative. 12 divided by 3 is 4. But when I multiply or divide both sides of the inequality by a negative, I have to flip the sign. So I am just going to flip that so that it now says x is less than negative 4. And so now we look at our options. Here we have negative 4, and this is showing that x is everything less than negative 4. So our answer is B. Solve for x and choose the correct graph. We have 7x plus 4 is less than 18. 7x plus 4 less than 18. So the first thing we're going to do is get rid of the 4. What I do to one side, I do to the other. Then I'm left with 7x is less than 14. I'm going to divide both sides by 7 to get the x by itself. 14 divided by 7 is 2, and we get x is less than 2. Now, there weren't any negatives that we divided or multiplied by, so we're not going to mess with the sign. And we'll look at the graph. So we have x pointed at on both of them, and we found that x is everything less than 2, so it's going to be B. Negative 9x plus 10 is greater than negative 8. Negative 9x plus 10 greater than negative 8. Yep. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is get rid of that 10. So we will subtract it on both sides. We start by messing with the side that the variable is on because we want to get the variable by itself. Then on this side, we're left with negative 9x is greater than negative 8 minus 10. So we would have negative 18. Then to undo this multiplication and get the x by itself, we're going to divide by negative 9. And we're left with x is greater than a negative divided by a negative is a positive. 18 divided by 9 would be 2, but we divided by a negative, so we are going to flip the sign, and we get x is less than 2. So B is our graph. Again, here we have negative 8x is less than negative 16. So all we have to do here is divide by negative 8 to get the x by itself. And since I did that to the left side, I'll do it to the right side. X is less than negative divided by negative is a positive. 16 divided by 8 is 2. But since we divided by a negative number, we're going to flip the sign, and we end up with x is greater than 2. So A is the graph that represents that. Negative 2 plus 5 is greater than 11. Negative 2 plus 5 is greater than 11. Probably negative 2x. Negative 2x plus 5 is greater than 11. Okay, we're going to subtract 5 from both sides. 11 minus 5, 6. We're left with negative 2x on this side. We're going to divide both sides by negative 2. And since we're dividing by a negative, we're going to flip the sign. X is less than 6 divided by negative 2 is negative 3. And we'll find the graph that matches this. X is less than negative 3. That is graph B. 5x minus 10 is greater than 15. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is add 10 to both sides to get rid of that 10 and slowly but surely get the variable by itself. When I do that, I get 25 is less than 5x. We'll get the x by itself now by dividing both sides by 5. X is greater than 25 divided by 5 is 5. So now I just find the graph that matches 5, showing x is bigger than all of them. All bigger than 5. All x values are bigger than 5 is A. 5x is greater than negative 20. So 5x, simple, one step. Okay, we're just going to divide both sides by 5. We're dividing by a positive, so we're not going to mess with the sign. X is greater than negative 4. Negative 20 divided by 5 is negative 4. So A is our graph.